Hey, beautiful people, how are you? Hello, I'm Leanne Vanderlight. I wanted to share some things about, I guess, how movement is self-care, right? So, basically, the idea is that you want to feel good. So you don't want to be doing something that doesn't feel good. And often we forget that movement shifts that energy. It shifts the tension. Hi, Shona. It shifts the energy, the tension, the stress, calms the mind. It just feels good, right? We all know that you get endorphins when you move your body, but I think changing the narrative around why you're moving, because a lot of people are moving to get fit, to lose weight. They're not actually seeing the bigger picture, the value that mentally that can bring. So I'm all about, like, for me, I live in nature. I live rural, so I'm lucky I've got that nature thing, but I've always relied on the outside, walking or exercising outside for that um, lift, I suppose you could call it. So what I wanted to do though today, I wanted to show a couple of stretches because I want to bring into light stretching because to me, I always teach stretching to my clients after they're exercised, but I think there is like, it's almost a fountain of youth when it comes to aches and pains and releasing tension and just calming the body, the nervous system, the mind, everything, right? Everything works better when we're calm. So if we can use stretching to release any struggles that we're having in our body, I think that's really helpful. And I find that you only need 5 minutes. If you've only got 5 minutes, if you've only got 10 minutes, whatever you've got, and there's no fitness level required, right? It's not like I find yoga can be a bit tough and not everyone can do things. And stretching, I'm going to show you a couple of standing things and a couple of things on the knee. So if they're not suiting you, you can stand for them, right? So I'm going to give you a couple of options. So I wanted to kind of share the magic, but I'm really thinking that to me now, being a bit older, stretching is so valuable. So I just wanted to, I guess, again, lift the profile of that so that, um, you're probably no longer, hopefully, smashing your body out, right? We just have to find other ways. And I think the other thing I want to say about self-care and movement is listening to your body and listening to your energy are the two things you kind of need as you get wiser. We all get wiser over time because over the day you have a different energy level. It drops, it peaks. Over the week you might have with your cycles and your body and your stress levels, all the things. So listening to your body will allow you to soak up that exercise, whatever it is you choose to do, right? So you're not pushing yourself when your body just doesn't have it. So I think that's a really important message to have is to stop forcing it. Yeah, don't force it. Find other ways. So I'm always about promoting other ways, right? And taking that narrative away of have to be in the gym for an hour, right? There's a million ways to train or to work out, and home workouts are brilliant. Body weight's brilliant. Stretching's brilliant. Nature and just having that me time and finding other benefits for this is what I want to show you. So I wanted to show you a couple of things because a lot of my clients do sit all day, right? They're working, they're sitting a lot. So a couple of things that I do, and in the morning is such a beautiful thing to do too. And it's just a lot of women, especially myself, have a dicky hip or a tight hip, tight glutes, or weak glutes. So I do a lot of rehab work with weak glutes. So having that strength in the core, but also being able to, you might need to hold on to something for this, but in the mornings you can do this while you're waiting for your toast to pop up, while you're in the shower. Don't fall over. So there's a couple of things I want to show you that are just really, really helpful. This one I love the most is just working through the hip with a little bit of a kick out at the back, right? So again, you're kind of working on your balance as well because balance is important. So just working through the hip, it's such a nice sort of swing. I find that I do that when I'm cooking. So just warming up through the hips and the type of thing that you can do anywhere, anytime, which is what I wanted to show you. So not making exercise about getting fit, make it part of your day, part of your life, part of being who you are, being stretchy, being flexible. because flexible is going to save our bacon, I think, as we get older. So warming through the hips. So again, I just want to show you a couple little things. The other thing I've discovered, which I think is quite lovely, is I've made this little space in my bedroom. I know I've got a big bedroom, right? But I've had this rug and I thought, you know what, I'm going to make a little space where I can stretch in my home, like obviously I've got the gym, but sometimes I'm a bit lazy, don't want to go out there, like most people, which is quite privileged, isn't it? But I love this fact that I've got this little kind of space that I've made where I can use it. So I encourage you to find, even if it's to read, to breathe, whatever, right? To lie down, to just relax, creating a little space just for you to do that, yeah? So coming up, one of my other favorite ones in the mornings especially, so you can use this as a morning routine. I think that's the other great thing about stretching, is there is no time that it doesn't help you. You can soften the knees, now rolling all the way up. If you've been sitting at your desk all day long, so you stretch all the way out, and of course you won't believe that I can just see a delivery van coming in. I'm hoping my husband's got that covered because, yeah, I don't want to jump off yet to get something delivered. Oh, and the dog's in here with me too. Oh, of course. Oh, it's funny, isn't it? All right, and rolling, especially if you have been sitting, just rolling, opening out your chest is really, really nice to do. Hip lifts, just stretching again through those tight hips. All right, so now what I want to show you, because a lot of time people don't like to be on their knees. So if you have a dining chair or a coffee table, this is really, really helpful as well. I'm going to go down. I don't know if you can see this. I'm going to move. This is the edge of my bed. But having that child pose, but up higher, is a really beautiful stretch. Now, if you want to take that down to the floor, go for it. And just relax into that. Beautiful. Probably the nicest stretch to open out the lower back and the hips. Really, really nice. Another beautiful thing you can do is take your arm and slide it underneath. So you just almost ear to the ground if you can. And you're stretching through the shoulders. All right, we're coming back out. Coming into a cat stretch. So you're looking at your belly button. You're looking at the sky. So again, rounding up. Like I said, no fitness level required. And the other big tip I give for clients that do have some struggles, do it on the bed, especially if we're doing hip lifts where we're lifting our buttocks off the ground. I'll show you that one as well. So this is a beautiful stretch. You're coming all the way out with your back, stretching, and then sliding it under between and down to the ground. So it gives you that little bit of a twist as well. Now, the other thing to note is hip flexors. So if we've been sitting a long time, you probably need this is about like a 7 to 10 minute workout. You may have less. So you might have 5, so you just do a couple of stretches. Yeah, so I just wanted to show you a couple. This slide's probably only going to be for about 15 minutes anyway. I just wanted to open that perspective of movement being more than just to get fit. Because honestly, fitness is mental and physical and spiritual and emotional. Like it's all of it. There's no point being healthy on the outside if the inside is struggling mentally, yeah? So you've got to have that balance and calmness to do that, yeah? So one of the other things I love is you go out to the side and lean into that stretch. So you, again, tight through our hips like we often are. And just so you can meter out how much pressure you put on that, right? And again, if you don't like this on the knee, you can do this standing up. Like I said, coffee table, bed, dining chair. So often we do the hip flexors and that, like especially with my clients that don't appreciate being on the floor on their knees, we do that up on the chair or the bench. So if you've got any questions about, because often I think people are busy, they wonder how they can fit something in. But when you're only looking at, say, a couple of minutes of stretches before you you can do it in your PJs. You can do it anywhere, right? So that's the beauty of that is you can get up. You've got your little space. It might be when you're cooking. It might be when you're waiting for something. It might be when you're getting ready for getting dressed, that kind of thing. So you don't need a lot of time. You just need to remember. Now, this is a beautiful one as well. One more last one I'll give you. A little bit trickier. So we're crossing over. So our toe is like over our body, and then you're just lying back. Now again, that may not be comfortable. Don't go back too far if it's not. Never push past pain and never do something that's not comfortable. Because there are so many ways you can exercise or move your body. Let's talk about movement. I'm not going to call it exercise anymore. I'm going to call it movement in ways that makes you feel good. You don't have to smash yourself or force it. But if you've got some questions about how to start, because that tends to be the thing I'm the best at for most people, is actually encouraging them and inspiring them to start. And then from there, every little tweak gets better and better and better. But if we never start, we're never going to be able to do that, yeah? So one of these other ones, I'm going to do one more. I always say one more, right? I'm one of the typical aerobics instructor. One thing. Am I back? I think my internet just dropped off. I can't see the comments right this second, but I'll hop off in a second and have a look. Another beautiful one. I've got a million. Like stretching is one of my favorite things that I teach. So if you'd love some more help with that, I actually have a beautiful stretching video and a little exercise guide that goes through the exercises and what they're for. And yeah, so if you'd love that, just let Katya know or leave a comment, and I'll flick you the link for that video to help you start. Yeah. So I hope that I can take the pressure off in a way and show you that it can be easy and that any movement is good movement, that you don't have to judge it as good or bad or hard or, yeah. So if we can just open that up to any movement is good movement. Walking is enough, right? There are so many things. Dancing. But yeah, with stretching, it just makes you feel so good. And I think we probably forget all about that and we don't do that enough. Yeah. So I hope that was helpful. I'm going to come over here and see if I can read a couple of these comments. Oh, beautiful, Shona. Great. Inspiring me so much daily from here on in. Also wish to commit to this. Yeah. Yeah. So it can be anything, right? You only need 5 minutes of just any kind of stretch that I can, if you, like I said, if you want the little guide, I've got created like a stretching card. So you can have the card and the video that goes with that, and that'll help you. Or if you want some help, just yell out. I've got plenty of help where that came from. Oh, there's a few more. Oh my Lord, the first movement and my body is already cracking. Arm slide is yeah, exactly right. And the cat stretch, so beautiful. It really, really helps. Yeah, I agree, Shona, because we've been, I think, conditioned to do it statically, which means it's not moving, like holding stretches. And we've also been conditioned to do it at the end when we've finished our workout. But in fact, we kind of need to warm up. And often I'll throw stretches in my clients' warm-ups or part of their workout because they're stiff and they're struggling. So I put that in the workout. So we keep sort of warming up, stretching, working out, stretching, like we keep it going. So it can be continual and absolutely doesn't have to be anything. It can just be when you get up in the morning in your jammies. One of the things that I do, like I said to a few clients, because they're warm, if they've got injuries or they're rehabbing or they've got something going on with their body that's not feeling good, just doing a little, stretch in bed, like a curl up in bed. When you're nice and warm, sometimes I would do that. I know your partner's probably going to go, what the hell are you doing? Like, stop moving the blankets. But doing something like this, just to the side, something really beautiful you can do in bed. Probably one of my best tips ever, I think. Yeah, just stretching in bed, rolling through the hips while you're nice and warm. I just find so helpful and so good. So I hope that was helpful. Any questions, let me know. Um, because I'm all about just helping women get started, and it doesn't get easier when we do nothing. It doesn't feel necessarily better. A lot of people will think that they need to rest more because they're struggling or they're feeling shit. But honestly, if we can just stretch, you'll feel $1,000,000. You feel so much better. So the older I get, the more I'm thinking this is definitely the way. And I keep thinking I'm going to do yoga, but honestly, for some reason, I find it too rigid, I think. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm struggling to commit to some of those things as well because we are a bit, what's the word? Not predictable. We've only been taught so many things, right? So we kind of, whatever's in our face is the thing that's going to get the attention. So yeah, I just find that I think this is it. I think stretching is really, really the go for everybody and anyone and any age and any ability. It's just so good. So I hope that was helpful. Any questions, or say you've got some niggles or something that you want to work around that you're not quite there yet, we can modify it and change it to make it or take that thing out. Like, we don't have to do all of it, right? You just have to do a little bit of it. Just do what feels good. The rest can wait until your body gets used to it and gets out of the shock. But anyway, so I hope that was helpful. Thank you for coming along, and I hope that you're having a beautiful day. And yeah, so self-care, right? It can be all sorts of things. It's not just getting your hair and nails done, although I highly recommend that too. Not that I do my nails, but I definitely get my hair done. It's opening up this whole idea of just taking care of ourselves. Isn't that, if everything is self-care? If that's the case, then everything is self-care, right? Because you're going to be taking care of yourself every day in some way, shape or form, right? It doesn't have to be making an appointment and going and getting waxed or hair done. And even then, to me, that's almost my, it's not even self-care. That's my actual care, my standard of care. I need to look after myself, right? I don't want hairy legs, right? So that is not even a self-care thing anymore. That is like, these are the things I do to take care of myself. And on top of that, when I've got a bit of time, these are the other things that I love to do as well, right? So I think coming back to what feels good, what you love to do, and there'll be some things you've forgotten about, like at the moment want to explore line dancing, right? I know it's kind of daggy, but for some reason, because I have taught aerobics for so long in my early years, I think music and movement together, I just love, love, love. So there's always something to explore. I think that's the thing now. So what is it, that thing that makes you feel great, that you actually are inspired to do, that gives you that light? You'll go, oh my God, I'd love to try that. I've tried belly dancing. I've tried a few things, right? I draw the line at pole dancing, but it's it's re-inspiring. So anything that, we don't have to stick to anything. I think there's the other thing about what I know to be true for exercise. If you have to stick to something and you're pushing yourself and you can't do it because you hate it, don't do it. Find something that lights you up, that you do not have to stick to, right? That doesn't make you feel bad if you don't do it, or you change your mind, right? Just keep changing it up. Go with whatever's going on for you. Do you know what I mean? Like, find that thing. I think that's the tip. Find that thing that makes you feel good. Yeah, like, how easy would that be, right? It doesn't have to be an hour in the gym. And tell you the truth, that doesn't interest me anymore. And when I was single, yeah, you could have that time. But when you're busy running your business or working and you've got family and you've got all sorts of things going on, that just doesn't suit anymore. That narrative, and I think a lot of us stick in our head that it has to be a certain way, that to move has to be that hour in the gym, or it has to be those things I used to do, right? Let's just open that box of goodies and go, well, what do I feel like doing? What's going to inspire me? And I'm all for changing it up. Change it around. Like, I wouldn't mind doing Zumba, right? I know people get injured doing Zumba, but I wouldn't mind doing Zumba. So there's a few things I want to try and explore. And I think that can just be never ending. Just keep exploring what you'd love to try, what feels great for you. Yeah, how good, right? That we get to do that. We've got so much choice. So anyway, if you want the stretching guide, let me know. If you want some help with starting, let me know. It doesn't matter if it's stretching or it's, stopping a habit that you've got going on, whatever's bothering you, or you just want to get stronger and you want some home workouts. I have plenty of those too. Anyway, I'll let you go, girls, and I hope that was helpful, and enjoy. Okay, bye.